Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, October 18th. We will continue to have stronger winds today over the Uintas into the northern Wasatch and the eastern portion of Utah, with gusts above 40 or 45 miles per hour and low relative humidity. We'll also have breezy winds increasing today over northern and central Nevada. These wind gusts will generally be between about 20 and 30 miles per hour. Showers will continue at times across the central Idaho mountains into eastern Idaho and Wyoming, and then they will start to decrease on Monday. Breezy winds will continue across parts of the higher elevations of Utah both Monday and Tuesday, but these winds won't be quite as strong as what we'll see today, so more wind gusts closer to 30 miles per hour. But we still do have active fires in this area, so gusty winds and low relative humidity will continue to be a concern for the next few days. Looking at our past 24 hours, we've had really no precipitation or lightning across the Great Basin, a few spotty showers over eastern Idaho into Wyoming. And then we did have new fire activity across parts of the higher terrain of Utah, especially over the northern Wasatch, a couple bigger fires over those areas. Over the last 7 days, we have had the only precipitation in the far north across Idaho, and most of this has been below normal for the time of year, but we have had some areas over western Idaho that have been above normal. Currently, this is reflected in our ERCs. Our ERCs remain very high over the southern half of the Great Basin, above the 80th to 90th percentile across much of Utah into eastern Nevada, and they have been rising over northern Nevada into southern Idaho, but are still generally below the 80th percentile. ERCs up in Idaho will remain low up in the central Idaho mountains, as this is the area that continues to see cooler weather, higher humidity, and occasional showers. Looking at a couple of our ERC charts in southern Idaho, although ERCs have come down quite a bit, they are still near records for the time of year, so certainly dry for mid-October, but certainly less than what we have been seeing earlier in the month. Further south into Utah and eastern and southern Nevada, still record ERCs and still areas, especially over the southern half of the state, that are very high, but you can see in areas where we have seen new larger fires emerge over northern Utah, you can see how those ERCs are at records for the time of year. 10-hour fuel moisture remains critical over the southern two-thirds of the Great Basin. Looking at our satellite image, very similar to what we've been seeing, we have this high pressure off the west coast with these cold fronts that are dropping down into the northern Rockies and northern plains and clipping northern and eastern areas of the Great Basin. Generally, this is what is causing our increased winds in some areas and also our higher humidity and some showers in the north. This pattern here will for the next couple of days. Looking at our weather pattern for later today, again, you can see that high off the west coast and the trough in the north. We do have those stronger winds today over the northern Wasatch into the Uintas and northeast Utah. These again will be gusting above 40 or 45 miles per hour with low relative humidity. Further west into Nevada, these winds won't be quite as strong, but again breezy, so if we do get a start, we could see some runs during the daytime period. You can see these gusty winds on the image on the left, those stronger winds coupled with the lower relative humidity in Utah. Further north, we will continue to see those breezy to strong northwest winds continue across Idaho and Wyoming, but as you can see, relative humidity is above 25 to 40% in these areas, so certainly much higher. We could see some runs in some drier spots with those gusty winds, but again, not quite as critical fuels up north. And then you can see the breezy winds across eastern and central Nevada. On Monday, that front starts to shift a little bit more off to the east with the high rebuilding, so winds will start to decrease a little bit and moisture will start to decrease in the north. Still continuing with those strong northwest winds in Idaho and Wyoming, where again fuels are not quite as critical. Further south down into Utah, those breezy winds will still continue in the Wasatch and the Uintas, but be not quite as strong as what we will see today. So therefore, we do not have any high risk, but still continue to expect those breezy north to northwest winds, with relative humidity between about 15 and 20%. On Tuesday, more of that westerly flow up north probably should weaken a little bit. It's certainly down south, and then no high risk, but you can see how dry Nevada and Utah are with that moderate fire potential, and again, certainly more moisture up north. So on Tuesday, you can see how those winds decrease even in northern areas as that cold front moves well off to the east, but still breezy in the mountains of northern Utah, so again, still expect those breezy north to northwest winds. Forecast amounts of precipitation. Any precipitation we get from this front in the north will be fairly spotty in central and eastern Idaho into Wyoming, with a heavier precip to our north and east. Moving into Wednesday, we have another cold front dropping south into the Great Basin. This one looks a little bit drier, so any moisture we see will be very spotty up in mainly central Idaho and Wyoming, but we could see a period of gustier winds initiate on Wednesday over southern Idaho into northern Nevada. Right now, we don't have any high risk. We're continuing to monitor this as models are not very consistent yet with the timing of the front, but we will be watching towards midweek for another cold front to drop south, increasing our winds. Then on Thursday, that cold front could sweep through the Great Basin and push those gusty winds to southern areas of the Great Basin and eastern areas. So again, no high risk yet, but continue to monitor because certainly our winds will likely increase for a period of time on Wednesday and Thursday. Then going into Friday, we will see a much stronger cold front finally drop down from the north, starting on Friday with mainly some clouds, maybe some showers in the far north, and some gustier winds. But it's really on Saturday where this cold front really pushes south. We'll likely see some pretty strong winds over parts of the northern half of the Great Basin on Saturday, and possibly even some precipitation over the northern half of the area may dip down into Utah and Nevada. So we'll continue to watch that. You can see how the fire potential is moderated as that cold front pushes south. There will be a period of time with the stronger winds ahead of it where fire potential will be elevated, but again, we should see some relief with this front in some areas of the northern half of the Great Basin, even further south with the cooler temperatures, higher humidity, and maybe some showers. And you can see from the 7-day total amount of precipitation, this is anything south of central Idaho is mainly going to occur next weekend, so towards Saturday, Sunday. So again, possibly some precipitation dipping down as far south as parts of central Utah into central Nevada. Well, we'll continue to monitor this. Looking at the 8 to 14-day outlook from October 25th through the 31st, you can see a cooler pattern on tap. Still maybe some drying, but that normal precipitation with that front is indicating some shower activity that may push further south. That concludes the webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.